All right. The question here asking about sine of pi over 2 plus alpha minus theta. Well, let me try to erase this star shiver. Let me clean this star here. Okay. Now, let me just rewrite this expression, everybody. Sine of, and let me see if you can understand what's happening here. Sine of pi over 2 minus, I will just open a bracket, theta minus alpha. All right, instead of alpha minus theta, I wrote it as negative of theta minus alpha. All right, now, did you see what's happening here, Shiva?
Yes.
Because I want to use something that I wonder if you can remember. Sine of pi over 2 minus...
The function, I think.
Cofunction, exactly. Cofunction. So this is equal to cosine of, Shiva, cosine of what? Theta minus alpha. You see that? All right. That is the maybe the most important step of this question, Shiva, to see what's happening here. Okay, after that, I'm sure you guys are remembering the cosine formula. It's cosine theta, cosine of theta, cosine of alpha, and then plus sine of theta and sine of alpha. Correct? Okay, let's see. Where is the theta? Well, they give you tangent of theta as 5 over 12, and they tell you theta is in the third quadrant. So if I know the tangent of theta, how did we calculate the other functions, Shabab? Do you remember?
X is minus 5, Y is minus 12, and R is 13.
Yeah, Shabab, let's just use easy way, easy technique, which is a triangle technique. Yeah? Suppose we have a theta here. So since tangent theta is 5 over 12, that means 5 is on the opposite side and 12 is adjacent of the right triangle. And the hypotenuse, you know how to calculate, right? By Pythagorean theorem. So hypotenuse is going to be 13. So now we need to keep in mind this triangle is in the third quadrant, Shabab. So we have to be careful about the sign of the functions. And maybe I should draw another triangle for the alpha, everybody. Suppose we have alpha here, and sine of alpha is 4 over 5. That means 4 is the opposite side, 5 is the hypotenuse here, and the adjacent side is 3.
Yes.
All right. So this is the maybe the shortest way to calculate the other functions. And now, what is cosine of theta, Shiva? The cosine is 12 over 13, of course. Is it positive or negative? Third quadrant, right? Theta is in the third quadrant. Let me write it here, maybe number 3. This is in the third quadrant, so we have to keep in mind. And alpha is in the first quadrant. Okay. So cosine will be negative 12 over 13. You see that, guys?
Yes.
And how about cosine of alpha? Cosine of alpha is 3 over 5, right? 3 over 5. And let's see, how about sine of theta? Sine of theta is?
Minus 5 over 13.
Negative 5 over 13. Yeah, so it will be negative 5 over 13, right?
Yes, and we have the sine theta alpha.
Sine alpha is already there, 4 over 5. Yes. 4 over 5. Okay. Do you guys need my help, or do you think you can do it, Shabab? Result is negative 56 over 65, huh? I'm sure you don't need help for this basic calculations, Math 001. That is the answer, negative 56 over 65. Okay, tell me if there is any step confusing you, everybody. Is it clear? All right. Again, the first important step is this one, right? So that we understand it is just cofunction. So just we calculate the cosine of theta minus alpha. All right. The next. Well, same question, almost the same question, but this is even easier. They are asking the cosecant. Well, for the cosecant, you just need to calculate sine first, right? Sine of a plus b, all right? And first calculate sine of a plus b, and then after that you will, flip it over and then calculate the cosecant. And the A and B are two angles in standard position in the first quadrant. So that is much easier because all of them are positive, right? So first calculate sine of A plus B and then just flip it over. So you will find the cosecant, huh, Shabab? Do you think you can do it? Huh? So maybe let me write the formula for you. Sine A cosine B, huh, Shabab? Sine A cosine B plus
This cosine A.
Cosine of A, sine of B.
Sine of B, yes.
Yes. Please just use the triangle technique, just we did before, and then find the sine A, cosine B, cosine A, sine B, and then calculate your. Let's go to next one. The next one is again, we need to remember how to use the formula to calculate sine of A plus B, cosine of A minus B, cosine of A minus B, right? So now I'm gonna write the solution here. This will be, Shabab, if you calculate, this will give you negative cosine beta. So please use the formula. So that will give you the negative cosine beta. And this will give you also negative cosine beta. Okay. And plus, this is basically cofunction, right? It is even easier. Cosine of beta. It is sine beta, not cosine, Shabab, right? Cofunction identity. Sine of beta and multiplied by sine of beta. All right. So basically, we got cosine square of beta plus sine square of beta.
Doctor?
Yes.
Can you explain the first two steps of the sine 3 pi over 2 plus theta?
A sine A plus B formula, Shabab. Do you remember that? sine A plus B. Do you remember that?
Yes, but how did we get negative cosine?
Yeah. So
Can
you
you explain?
just write it and you will see that.
Oh,
You just need to write it. So use the formula.
so you simplified the answer. That's why
Yes.
we get the final
Yes.
answer. Oh, okay.
So I'm just leaving these two steps for you. You know, you need to write the formula, and then at the end you will get negative cosine beta, and another is negative cosine beta.
Okay.
Yes. Well, let's use this formula again. What is cosine of A plus B, Shabab? Cosine A, cosine B, huh? Cosine A, cosine B
Minus sine A sine B.
minus sine A, sine B. Yes. And how about the second one? Cosine A, cosine B
Plus.
minus sine A, sine plus sine A, sine B, right?
Yes.
So we are basically multiplying cosine A, cosine B minus sine A, sine B times, right? A same thing, right? Same thing with plus here. You understand, Sheba? Same cosine A, sine A, cosine B, right? So the result will be what? Cosine A, cosine B
all square.
square,
minus-
huh, Sheba? Right?
It's different between two square.
Yes. Sine A, sine B square. Are you sure you are okay? Are you understanding, Sheba?
Yes.
Very good. That means cosine square A, right? Cosine square, you see cosine A and cosine B, they are all equal to 1 over 2, right? So 1 over 2 times 1 over 2, let me just...
1 over 4.
Yes. So basically it is 1 over 4 square, right? Minus, how about sine A and sine B?
Can we write the triangle?
I know the cosine A. Can I find the sine A? Of course, right?
Yes,
So,
it's from the sine square plus cosine square.
or, yeah, or triangle, just, triangle. So this is A. So cosine is 1 over 2, right, Sheba? So this is root 3 here.
3, yes.
So sine A is the root 3 over 2. Also, sine B is root 3 over 2, right? So it will be complete square.
Doctor,
Yes.
we need to interchange between 1 and root 3 because it's cosine. Right?
You are right, Shabab. What we did, yes, thank you for this. So since it is cosine, 1 is here, huh, Shabab? 1 is here, and root 3 is here. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Shabab. So sine A and sine B, it will be basically root 3 over 2, and another is also root 3 over 2. Okay. Now, Shabab, you see, do we know where is the angle A and B?
No, but we have square, so it doesn't matter.
Perfect. Perfect idea. So maybe A and B are in the first quadrant because cosine, positive. Or maybe in the fourth quadrant, right? Fourth quadrant. Cosine is also positive. But in the fourth quadrant, sine is negative. Well, it doesn't matter because we are going to multiply and take the square. So sine is positive or negative. We are not worrying about that because we have a square here. Sine A times sine B square. All right. So it is equal to 1 over 16 minus
9 over 16.
9 over 16, perfect.
Which is minus negative 8 over 16.
Yes, Shabab.
So negative 1 over 2.
Perfect. Yes. Next is, well, again, it is a simplification. Just use sine of pi over 6 plus theta. Just open the formula. Cosine of pi over 3 plus theta. And simplify and see which answer you're going to get. This is something you don't need my help. It's a nice, good question. Here, we have cosine of 3x written in terms of cosine x. A cosine x plus b cosine cube x. Then what is the a times b? Well, in this question, Shabab, we are supposed to remember cosine formula because cosine of 3x is equal to cosine of 2x plus x. Cosine of 2x plus x, right? And then I can use the cosine formula for the sum. Cosine 2x, cosine x, everybody, minus sine of 2x times sine of x. All right, clear? Now cosine of 2x, let me change my color maybe. So cosine of 2x here, just please write it as cosine of
X plus X.
cosine of 2x is cosine of x plus x. All right, cosine of x plus x, Shabab. All right, and then after you use the cosine formula just like this, right? And then you will change everything into cosine, so you will get 2 times cosine square x minus 1. Okay, I'm gonna just leave that steps for you. 2 cosine square x minus 1. Okay, how about sine of 2x, everybody? Sine of 2x is also, you just need to write sine of x plus x, sine of x plus x, and after you use the formula, you will get 2 times sine of x cosine of x. Again, I'm just leaving this formula for you to just practice the formula, sine a and the a plus b formula. Okay. Now let's write it again with my red color. So when you multiply with cosine x, Shabab, right? When you multiply with cosine x, what happens? 2 cosine cube of x minus cosine x, huh, Shabab? And when you multiply with, you know, sine x here, you just need to multiply by sine x with this one. You will get minus 2 sine square x times cosine x. Because I have sine x here, I have another sine x here. Sine x times sine x is sine square x. And times cosine x. Well, again, Shabab, we have sine square x, which is what? 1 minus cosine square x. And then just multiply with cosine x. What happens?
Cosine
So you will
x
get
minus cosine x cube.
minus 2 cosine x minus 2 cosine x plus 2 cosine cube x. Cosine cube x.
Sure.
Yes.
How did we get 2 cosine squared minus 1? Isn't cosine of x plus x equals to cosine of x plus the formula when
Sorry,
we
which one you are talking about? Cosine
the
2x?
blue one in the corner. Cosine 2x equals cosine of x plus x. How did we get 2 cosine x squared minus
Shabab,
1?
first you need to open the formula cosine a plus b.
Yes, but isn't there a sign in the formula?
Yes, and then you will change the sine square to cosine square, right?
By the cofunction?
Sine square equal 1 minus cosine square, right, Shabab?
Oh, okay. I understand now.
Very good. Now let's see how many cosine cube here. We have 4 cosine cube, Shabab. 4 cosine cube and minus 3 cosine x. Minus 3 cosine x. So now you can see what is number A and number B there. All right. So number A is negative 3 and number B is 4. So A times B is negative 12. Next comes the tangent formula. So tangent of A plus B is tangent of A plus tangent of B divided by 1 minus tangent of A times tangent of B. And similarly, we have the same, almost the same formula for tangent A minus B, which is tangent A minus tangent B divided by 1 plus tangent A tangent B. So that is the tangent formula, Shabab. We need to memorize and remember so that we can, use it. Okay, let's practice another one. We have sine A is given and cosine B is given. A is in the second quadrant and B is in the third quadrant. So maybe we should either you can just use triangle, to help yourself, Shabab, or imagine triangle in your mind, just try to imagine, practice how to imagine, okay? So let's see, this is sine A, cosine B, right, Shabab? And plus cosine A sine B. Okay. Now, let's see who's going to tell me what is sine of A. Well, it is already given, 4 over 5. Sine of A is 4 over 5. Times, how about cosine of B? Well, it is also given.
12 over 13.
Negative 5 over 13.
Negative 5 over 13. It is given already. How about cosine of A? Who's going to tell me cosine of A?
We find it from the formula of sine A squared plus cosine A squared equals 1. And we already have the sine A.
Yes, sine A is 4 over 5. What is cosine A, Shabab?
Minus
It
3
will
over
be
5.
root of 1 minus 4 over 5 squared.
Negative 3 over 5, right, Shabab? So I am drawing a triangle in my mind. I am imagining triangle, right? Can you imagine the triangle, or shall I draw it for you again? All right. How about sine of B, Shabab? Can somebody
12
tell
over
me
13.
sine of B?
12 over 13.
Ava, it is negative 12 over 13, right? Okay. So if you are having trouble to imagine, please just draw a triangle so you can see, Shabab. 5 is here, 13 is here, and 12 is here. If it is hard for you to imagine, huh? Because I don't think we should just sketch triangle again and again and again. So you should practice how to imagine, because in the exam it will help you, Shabab. Okay, so if you calculate this, it will give you negative 20 plus 36. That means 16 over 16 over 65. Am I right? 16 over 65. Now I need to calculate for tangent. So it is tangent of A plus tangent of B divided by 1 minus multiplication. Tangent A, tangent B. All right. Now, what is tangent A? Well, sine A is 4 over 5, so I'm imagining the triangle 4 over 5, 4, 5, 3. So, what is tangent A? Who's going to tell me the tangent of A?
It will be 4 over negative 3.
4 over 3, but negative, right, Shabab? Perfect. So, it is negative 4 over 3. Because the A is in the second quadrant. Yes, perfect. How about tangent of B, Shabab?
It will be 12 over 5.
Perfect. It is positive, right? So it is 12 over 5. Perfect. Okay, and then it will be 1 plus, right? Because minus tangent A, because tangent A is also negative, so it will be plus 4 over 3, right, Shabab? Times 12 over 5.
No, we can simplify. 12 over 3.
Okay, so then we can simplify, Shabab. Let's see how much is this. Well, negative 20 plus 36, so it is 16 over 15 divided by, and this is 48 plus 15 is 63.
It will be 1 plus 16 over 5. We can simplify the 12 with the 3 first.
So it is 16 over 63, Sheva. $16 over 63. Am I right?
1 minute.
Okay, let's see if we have any no mistake, right? We did calculate. Sine A is 4/5. Cosine B is -5/13. Cosine A is -3/5. Yes. And sine of B is -12/13. Yes. -20 plus 36, 16/65. Tangent is also right.
Yes.
So now they say, what is the quadrant of angle A plus B?
I think it's in the third because the tangent is positive.
And sine is also positive. You see, Shabab?
So in the first quadrant.
And tangent is positive. That means it is in the first quadrant.
First, yes.
Yes. Because sine is positive, tangent is positive. That must be in the first quadrant, Shabab. Okay. Well, here is some practice for you, Shabab. Again, how to use the formulas, cosine, tangent, sine, to simplify some expressions. So I'm just leaving it to you to just look at it and understand what's happening. Sure. The next is a tangent question here. We have tangent of theta minus alpha. So it is tangent theta minus tangent alpha divided by
1 plus tangent theta times tangent alpha.
exactly 1 plus tangent theta times tangent alpha. Now, when we look at the alpha and theta, well, the numbers are not, nice looking. So I can just maybe draw a triangle to help myself, right? So suppose we have alpha here. So that means the 2 must be here, right? According to the sign of alpha.
Yes.
So this hypotenuse will be 5, root of 5. Looks like the adjacent side is 1.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay, so that will help me for tangent. Another one for theta. Let me draw theta triangle. Cosine is -1/√10. That means 1 should be here, and √10 should be,
Yes.
hypotenuse.
And the opposite
And the other side will be what?
is 3.
3 by the Pythagorean theorem, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we just need to keep in mind the quadrant. Alpha is in the first quadrant, so we need to be careful. And the theta is in the second quadrant, so we should not forget about that. So what is the tangent of theta, everybody?
It will be -3.
-3, perfect. -3 minus, what is tangent of alpha?
2.
2, right?
Yes.
Over
1.
1
Yes.
minus 3 times 2, right? 3
Yes.
times 2. So result is -5 divided by
-5. So it's 1.
Result is 1. Nice, interesting. Yes, if the numbers are a little bit, complicated, just sketch the triangle so that you don't make a mistake. Well, we have sine of 2 beta, cosine of 2 beta. I'll just come back to this question because that is about chapter 7.3. So we'll come back to this one, Shabab, after we, learn the double angle and half angle identities. And here is a nice question about the tangent, Shabab. How do we calculate the tangent of 7 pi over 12? Again, the simple idea, 7 pi is 4 pi plus 3 pi. So it is 4 pi over 12 plus 3 pi over 12. That means pi over 3 plus pi over 4. All right. 7 pi over 12 is the same as pi over 3 plus pi over 4. And then we are going to use the tangent formula, of course, since we know all these values, right? So root 3 plus 1 divided by 1 minus root 3, and by rationalizing the denominator, you learn in the math 001, multiplying the denominator by conjugate, right, Shabab? So result will be negative 2 minus root 3. Yes, I remember we asked this one as a exam question, Shabab. The exact value of tangent 7 pi over 12. Okay, so let's solve one more example today, and maybe that is enough for today. I should just maybe what we need to do here, Shabab, we have tangent of 31 pi over 12. Well,
So-
31 pi over 12 is too much, right?
Yes.
What can I do? I can subtract 2 pi. Am I right? If you subtract 2 pi, it's going to be 7 pi over 12. See? So therefore, tangent of 31 pi over 12 is the same as tangent of 7 pi over 12. So now let me write the question again here. So it is tangent of 7 pi over 12. All right.
Minus the tangent of pi over 4.
Ava minus tangent pi over 4 because tangent is odd function.
Yes.
Perfect. Divided by 1 plus multiplication. 7 pi over 12 multiplied by tangent pi over 4. Now this is a tangent formula, right? It's tangent of
7 pi over 12 minus pi over 4.
exactly. Okay, so that means it is tangent of, if you subtract Shabab, it will give you tangent of pi over what? 3. So tangent of pi over 3 is root 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So in this example, we rewrite the expression. We don't expand it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Inverse question, right?
Huh?
Inverse question.
Inverse question. What is that?
Yeah, I mean, we solve the question in the. I don't know how to. Never mind, doctor.
Okay. Okay, inshallah. Just make sure the steps are clear for you, Shabab. Okay. I should just stop here. Inshallah, we'll continue Thursday, Shabab.
Thank you, doctor. Have a nice day.
Have fun, Shabab. You too.
Have a nice day, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
You too,
See
Shabab.
you next class.
Thank you.
See you
Bye, doctor.
inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.